And we're live. Brainstorm 2.0? 2.0.
This is 2.0.
KKK Brainstorm 2.0.
Yeah. Oh.
Gina's finally shat the bed. Oh, someone's tested positive for COVID.
Who's that?
Someone from work.
Oh.
Oh, she was in today. Right.
Fuck away from me. I've already had it.
How many times can I get COVID in a month?
I was going to say, you've already had it, I've already had it. Yeah.
Can't be going back again.
No.
You had a couple more super likes today, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. Okay.
So, what do you think about me ending up somewhere like this?
Do you know what? As I said the other day, Edinburgh suits you. This kind of place out of the city suits you. It's easily commutable, as we figured out this morning. This was your first proper commute into work. I think it's going to be even easier with me not here, you being able to get up early in the morning, you know.
To be fair, I got up way earlier than I had to today, right?
You did.
I set the alarm for 5:45.
Yeah.
Got up, I was going to do my hair, and then I got up to go to the loo, put it in a bun and was like, it's passable.
It's fine, you know.
So then I didn't end up getting up till 5:30, but I left at 7 on the dot.
Yeah.
You know, hop in, quick shower, bish bash bosh, on the bus by 7, was standing at my office by 7:40. Right, so if I was just going in for 9, I could leave an hour later than I did.
Yeah.
And still get there on time.
Yeah.
So that there's so much flex the other way. So yeah, you being here wasn't too much of an issue.
Ironically speaking, I thought about washing my hair tonight, and then I was like, that means I've got to buy more products to wash my hair and do it and everything like that. So I don't have the fucking mental capacity to deal with that today.
Be a lot.
It's a lot. People don't realise that as mutual people with curly hair, nobody understands the struggle of
This.
this.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
It's an involved. It's a way of life.
It really is a way of life, isn't it?
It really, really is.
And it's when everyone says, oh my god, I'd love to have curly hair. No, you fucking don't.
Plus, on the side note, do you really want to wash your hair then sit on a bus all night? You're going to want to wash it when you get in.
My bus is getting in at 6 o'clock in the morning, and let's face it, in all honesty, I'm going to bed. Might pick up McDonald's breakfast on the way home.
That's not bad. Not a bad way to go. You were going to bed as I go to work.
Yeah. Your cinder has frozen.
They're just not having it.
Not having it.
It's given up.
And I don't want to,
on
like...
Courtney. Did you try and super like her?
Yeah, I quite like Courtney. Courtney?
Courtney.
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 Teeth and Gina.
Alright, my sweet. Got that bit of that Courtney action. Yeah, the app's crashed. Tinder's so trash.
Tinder is trash. Why can't we could build a better app, let's face it.
We will build a better app.
Yeah,
We will build a better app. Rest
Can we
assured.
build it now, because I'm getting real lonely.
100%. Well, I mean, I can probably get some Indian or South African developers, but I wanted to hire someone in-house and have tech people with us.
Yeah.
Because I'm not techie, and I'd like to get techie, but I'm not techie. There you go, I fixed it for you. And what I do, it comes down to, I want to flick that so it doesn't just keep going everywhere like it did last night.
Sorry, I forget the difference between, like, I'm normal, past couple of weeks, all I've done is smoke cigars outside with my dad, and you don't flick cigars.
Gotcha.
I'm used to.
Yeah, because you were getting it everywhere last night.
I was last night. Ooh. No?
I mean... Okay, she's got a pretty smile.
I'm not sure these boobs are real.
Then... See, because they fall apart there. That could just be the way the band's holding them. No, they're real.
Yeah, they're real.
They're real.
I'm convinced, but the first thing that I'm going to do to myself, I am going to get a boob job.
Interesting.
I am going to get a boob job.
Okay. Alright. I'm down for that.
Extremely insecure about them. Well, one of them is smaller than the other.
That's the same with every girl.
It's the same for every girl, and guys might not notice it, but every single day when I look in the mirror, I noticed.
She's got Jack Johnson as one of her favourite artists. The situation just changed. I like Jack Johnson.
I overall like Jack.
Yeah, no, well, I mean, well, objectively, you have lovely tits, so you shouldn't feel self-conscious. But if it's something that you want for you, I'm all down for that. Like, it's going to make you feel good.
I want to pump up this one. This one is like a little bit smaller than this one, right? And they look east to west. You know, there's definitely separated boobs. Not a bad thing. That's great. You know, you get a good shot of like cleavage, like especially the top I'm wearing today. But I would just like to be pushed like a little bit more and a little bit fuller up here. That's all I'm asking for. A lot.
You are like fucking dangerous. All right.
I just liked it.
No comment.
Yeah. But no, would like a boob job.
Like a boob job.
And when I lose all my weight, probably I'm gonna have to have some form of like skin thing done to me. Probably. I might not have to. I'm still quite young. Skin has tendency to bounce back. But don't want to have all that excess baggy skin. No one wants to see that.
I feel that. Well, do it in one.
Yeah. Yeah. Because let's face it, when I lose all the weight that I want to, which to be fair isn't a lot more to go, but as soon as that happens, boobs start to sag. And I like my titties. They just need a little bit of work.
A little more push.
Just a little bit more work.
A little bit more.
All.
Just tighten up the formation.
Yeah.
You know, squad's on point, but they just need to hone it in.
I want the balance between it. You know, I've got good boobs already. I've got a good waist and I've got a good butt and I've got good thighs. I just want slightly better boobs. Everything else is fine. Everything else I'm happy with. You know?
As you should be, my love. I've been really wanting to get more tattoos, but I'm struggling to work through my gym bro body dysmorphia and desire to be back where I was before I do something like that and like break away from. In my mind, they're not going to look good unless I'm ripped, and I know that that's not the case, and that's not. I don't want a tattoo to be ripped and to look cool. But you know what I mean? It's just a starting point. Like anything that's not my lower forearms. I really struggle with the idea of getting comfortable with that.
I mean, it's one of those things. Obviously, we've talked about you getting back to that. Maybe that's your little gift to yourself. That when you finally get there and you feel like that isn't a problem anymore, so you don't see that in the mirror anymore, that's your little gift to yourself. Because I've said to you that I want more tattoos. I was scrolling through TikTok this morning, and I follow like a lot of tattoo artists on TikTok, all up and down the country, because I like to see their different art styles and things like that. And there was this girl, she's got hip ones that she wants to do, and she showed them, and I was like, I really want a hip one, but I want my thighs to just be a little bit less chunky before I get on. But I would love one down here, but as we both know, I want one around here as well. I've got a million more tattoos that I really want.
I feel you. So do I. I'm not a million. You want more than I do. I want 2 more here. We settled on the heart for the rosal coordinates, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. And we also need all right treatment tattoos.
100%. I want. Okay.
I mean, to be fair, I've already decided where my all right treatment is going.
We will get the all right treacle when either the podcast picks up or we'll call it the Brady Group in whatever company it forms. But from now, whatever one breaks 6 figures in revenue.
Okay.
Doesn't matter how successful, not about profit. When we get, when whatever stream, when we bring in 100 grand in a year, we get all right treacle. Because now we're not just playing with the fishies, you know what I mean? Anyone can set up a small business that turns over 20 grand or 30 grand. I'm not saying that there's still not hard work in that, and that anyone can, but in terms of that's a turning point for us. You know what I mean? If we're to, it's the first 1,000, the first 100,000, the first million, the first 100 million. You know, it's those tipping points. But yeah, I want the rosal coordinates on my heart. I want the yin and yang. I've been really getting pulled to get those, and then. I don't know. I want. We talked about this the other day. I want a tattoo for every country that I'm in. Yeah. So I want to get one while I'm in Edinburgh. And I'm very conscious now I've only got like 30 more days potentially of being in Edinburgh, so I sort of need to shit or get off the pot with that. I did think that a good one to get would be the Rosa coordinates, because regardless of how big or small I am, I want them on my chest, I want them on my heart. That bit of me expands and contracts in a very... It's not a bad place for a guy to get a tattoo, you know.
I once dated a guy who had a racing emblem tattooed on his chest. That was a real put off the first time he took off his shirt. It's the club that the racing club used to work for. Ben, if you're listening to this, I am talking about you, my love.
Now, here's a question that I'm sure the audience, just like me, has. And flick that. Oh my, Gina, you're giving me actual anxiety.
I'm sorry.
Okay, we've got the brand new microphone, the only laptop, all right, that is going to be very soon my only source of income.
I'm sorry.
And you're flicking ash around like it's a loose bean. Right. But the question that me and I'm sure some of our fellow Kinksters will have was, when you saw the racing emblem, was that not, if not for the first time in your life, that you even maybe had the thought of, do I not have more self-respect? Or did you just dive straight in?
I dove straight in.
You dove straight in,
I mean,
see?
to be fair,
That's what we like about Gina, ladies and gentlemen. She doesn't have that little voice in her head that makes her question, am I worth this? Should I do this? Do I love myself enough? Straight in.
You know, in Emperor's New Groove, you know, in Kronk has the mini Kronk angel on his shoulder, then the mini Kronk devil. I don't have the angel, okay? I only have Kronk the devil, you know, and it's not a version of me as the devil, it is Kronk, okay? I've decided that little devil on my shoulder is Kronk, alright? And that's it. I don't have any inner voice that tells me not to do things, you know? I could jump up to the top of a tall building and my inner voice would go, jump. Genuinely.
Give it a go. See, in a similar way to you, not that I love that analogy, by the way, and you are totally, you do have a Kronk on your shoulder in every single way. Put that on a t-shirt.
I'm the Kronk of this friendship.
Intern, whenever we get one, put that on a t-shirt. Thank you. Office wench, or no, that's probably H. Can I say that?
No. Remember, we said we weren't having an office boy or an office girl. We weren't allowed one of those.
No, we've got to get a non-bino.
A non-bino. Yeah.
Non-bino. Regardless, can I say wench?
No, not really.
Can I hire someone to
Office
say it?
cunt, I think that works.
Can I hire someone to say these things for me?
If we get enough, yeah.
No, I mean legally, from HR perspective, I'm not allowed to call my employees wenches and shit. However, if I hire someone, preferably a scouser, that just hurls abuse at everybody, and we don't do anything about it.
I mean, I don't know about you, I particularly wouldn't like the tribunal cost, you know. I don't feel like spending 3 weeks in court.
But there's only a tribunal if they're an employee. If they're all independent contractors.
Yes, but if they have been employed by you...
If they're all independent contractors. I couldn't sue... I can't take NCM to tribunal.
No.
Right?
No.
I'm a contractor, and I'm not even a fixed time, I'm for my own business. So if we hired all the people I want to abuse through limited companies, they're all contractors, they have no employee rights.
That would work.
Right? Or do discrimination, and this is the follow-up question, to do discrimination, because as I understand it, the discrimination laws, we'll just call that broadly, you know what I mean by that, not just discrimination, but you're gay, you're all your different colours of the rainbow, your nonces, thank you. It has shifted to the point, and this is at least in Jersey, if me and you work in an office, right, and Steve and Bill sit at the other end of the office, right, Steve and Bill have a bit of a laugh, Bill makes a gay joke, right? Now, I, as Jamal, wasn't involved in the conversation, and I'm not gay.
Yeah.
But I can take offence to that, and I can take you to tribunal for that. And in Jersey, it's like, I think it's like 5 or 10k a pop, right? I can sue for that. You know, we'll call it sue, but you know what I mean, to go to the tribunal. Is that correct? Because that's how it is in Jersey, to the point where, like, I could make a gay joke, neither of us are gay, but you can file for discrimination. Do you feel me?
Yeah.
You get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
no one actually has to be hurt, or even in the room.
And no one actually has to be gay in this situation.
Or even in the conversation, right? You can have it next to, you know, adjacent in the scene, I'm around. So could we... You're right, it's just going to be expensive.
It's just going to be expensive, I think.
No, I figured it out. We only hire people
that have our vibe.
Who have our vibe, so this isn't going to be a problem.
But that's why I'm chief of peeps.
This is why you're chief of peeps.
You know.
Can we get people... Right, here's something... Right, HR. could we get some form of contracty thing drafted up that in legal speak, but in layman's terms, says, yo, I'm coming to work here. We all want some good vibes. We all want some good bants. Outside of these restricted things, like actual harassment or, like assault or
Racism.
No. Racism. Outside of assault, I'm waiving my right to legal recourse on someone swearing at me or teasing or taking offence, and that it has to go through like some form of mediation first. You know what I mean? To hedge, but on both sides. You know what I mean? Be upfront with it. Be like, look, you're going to come work with us. We're in an interesting world. We want to do interesting things. We're fucking us, right? There's a vibe here. I don't want to have that fucking shit at some point where someone's.
I don't want Janet to get offended by me.
She thinks I'm hiring a Janet. She's from Bedford, ladies and gentlemen. She is my diversity hire. She is my lower middle class.
Thank you.
See? She's my lower middle class diversity hire. I don't need no Janices or Larrys or, God forbid, like a John.
Oh.
Ugh. I'm nearly throwing up on my Mackies right
It's one
now.
of those things. I think John is the most basic bitch name you can get for a man.
English man, yes. Scottish man, no.
No.
But yes, completely with you.
What is it for a Scottish man?
Angus.
Angus. Really?
Angus Gus.
Okay.
Now, that's a very anecdotal, immediate response. I'm trying to think. Yeah. No, your Pauls, your Brians, your Hughes, your Johns, your Anguses. Angus more rural, but still very thing. But no, I was more responding to what I feel is the most basic. When I hear an English guy named John, I'm like... When I hear about a Scottish guy named John, I'm not quite yet determined. You know what I mean? Like, all right. You know what I mean? It's got like a slightly different connotation.
Scottish John can be a crack or not.
Right. In the same way that if you...
English Karen is a cunt.
English Karen is a cunt.
But
English Karen everywhere is a cunt,
Karen
to be
everywhere
fair.
is a cunt.
I suppose like a Stacey. Like if you heard Scottish Stacey, you wouldn't know what to
No.
think, really, right? Is she posh? Is she poor? It's Stacey. If I say Stacey from down south, right? Even I want to put a condom on.
It's the equivalent of Crystal with a K.
It really is. It really is. Even I can feel my penis sliding back up into myself. He'll come back out and we'll do it. You know,
it's
but
like a tortoise.
But it's great. The thinking of Stacey, that makes me want to put a rubber on, which is saying something. Right?
That says a lot about you.
It says a lot.
I mean, to be fair.
Hey, controversial opinion. I don't think sex should be had with condoms. I think if you're fucking someone that you don't know that well, you do your thing. But for me, I don't need them in my life. I think that there are ways of setting things up where everybody is safe, everybody is happy, everyone's consensual, and we're going to have a great time. And it feels a million times better. It is no comparison to me. And where I'm at is I'm not pig-headed enough or enough to be like, oh, I'd never have sex with a girl in a condom. Or if a one-night stand thing happens, then sure. However,
if a girl requested it,
then we wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
Oh no, if a girl requested it, right, in the moment, sure. Right, if natural encounter happens, we end up coming across each other in real life. There's no pre-phone interaction, right? And then she asks, completely down, 100%. However, if I'm talking to a girl in any capacity romantically, there's any online interaction, and that comes up, it's my response is going to be, okay. But let me actually think of what my response would be. But first, I'm just like, no, right? End of it's like, no, I'm not interested because there are other options or no option. None is better than that for me, where I'm at and what I need. Right, I'm not desperate. I'm not horny as fuck. I need to just fuck anyone. It's not the vibe. I'd say, right, look. Well, first of all, I try to understand where it's coming from. Are they not on contraception?
Yeah.
Are they worried about STI? I'm not a dickhead.
No.
I'll have a conversation and try and understand where the apprehensions are coming from. And in the same way that I genuinely and sincerely would listen to where a girl's coming from and empathise, I'll articulate my position, which is, hey, it's not that enjoyable for me over the condom, and not in a cliche way. It's just not that interesting to me. There are ways that we can have safe, raw sex. And that's what I'm looking for. And if for whatever reason that can be completely justified, it's not about saying that you're wrong. If that doesn't align with you, that's okay. That's one of the core things we don't line up on.
Yeah.
In the same way that if I was a smoker and you were a non-smoker and you were like, that's just an issue for me, no offense, Jamal, you needing me to put a rubber on, if it's not just a one-night stand and I'm sleeping with you, absolutely not. No way. It doesn't appeal to me in the slightest.
My thing is, genuinely, Sex is better without, 100%. We both know this, that we both enjoy it without.
Absolutely.
But the other thing is, for me as a girl, and as we both know with my particular vagina, wearing a condom with it is even more uncomfortable. It's really uncomfortable for me. To the point where actually, if a guy pulls one out again, I don't want it. Because the days after having sex with a condom on, down there is extremely sensitive. It does not feel good for me in the slightest.
No, I can imagine. And on my side, coming doesn't feel that good.
No.
Right? I don't come in the same way. You don't get the full release. It's nowhere near the same. And I even think on right, let's separate for a moment kinky and we'll call it romantic sex, right? But I want to dive into that for a moment. Or intimate as opposed to just kinky and rough is what I'm getting at. Like, you've got a connection with someone's sex. You, as the guy in, like, I'm just speaking to the third person. For me, I find that skin doesn't, like, when there's a condom on, there's not the same cohesion. There's not the same feeling for each other. You don't get the same rhythm, and I don't just mean that in literal rhythm, as what existential rhythm of the situation.
Blockage between a connection.
It is, and I'm someone who in that side of sex, like, I get often listening to you moan, you know, hearing that in my ear, you know, like feeling your body change is like I rub my dick up your clit, right, gently, and just like learning that I enjoy, you know, that and you're not getting any of that, you know, that's all gone, and I think that I'm somewhat of an artist when it comes to sex. I don't always have a plan. Sometimes I do, if it's more, again, like, structured on either side. I have a pre-agreed scenario or dynamic or something I want to play out, or even just in my head, this is what I want to do. But when it's more just flow, I want to be able to just be natural, which brings me on to my next biggest issue. And this is something that I disagree with. People say, oh, it doesn't break the mood, you know, it's really easy to just pop on. It breaks the fucking mood. For me, it always breaks the mood.
As a girl who, you know, you're in bed with a guy, you're making out, you know, you're giving each other oral, you know, fingering, doing whatever, you know, whatever you're doing, for example. And then he's like, oh, I need to go to the bathroom. Or he's like, I need to get in my bedside table and pull a condom out. You're just laying there as the girl with your legs open, just a bit kind of like, just looking at your watch, waiting for him to put it on. And then listen to him, like, ping it on himself as well. It's also just a total mood.
It's disgusting.
Because I'm not being funny. If you're going to go back in after you put the condom on, I'm going to need a little more warming up by that point.
100%. And for me, it goes from an amazing feeling of being close to you, whether it's oral or just kissing and being close, right, to then there's this fucking barrier, and I'm inside you, and I can't feel being inside you.
I can't feel it.
Just to be clear, woman, public service announcement. As a guy, you can't feel a girl's vagina through a condom. They try to act like you can. It's just a tight grip, like a fleshlight. It's like fucking a fleshlight. Yeah. Obviously, I mean that just the pussy aspect, not the whole being of the woman, but it's like fucking a fleshlight, right? There's nothing to it. It's awful. And outside of that, here's a question for you condom folks, existentially. Do you guys not understand what spontaneous sex is? And what I mean by that is, in my life, in my day-to-day, going into the kitchen while she's doing the dishes or making the coffees or whatever, I'm walking up behind her and kissing her, and we're having a little chat and joke, and maybe sometimes that's just for a little cuddle. Maybe I slip my hand down in her pants, right? Yeah. And she moans a little bit, and she puts the teaspoon back in the cup, right? It's a little, you know, right, cool. And before you know it, she's bent over and I'm fucking her. Yeah. Right? Or we're on the couch, and little one-liner hits. Do you know what I mean? Like,
you've got to get off the couch.
You've got to get off the couch. If you
and do you know the other thing about? If you are a condom person, right? Do you have to hide condoms in every room of the house where you could possibly have sex? That's a
genuine question. And if you don't, what's your sex life like? And if you do, like, do you not realise there's a problem there? Like, you know.
One of my other biggest bugbears with condoms, right? We both know that I like giving oral. There's a lot of men out there that haven't experienced my actual oral skills with it. Well, it is very, very good, I will say. There is nothing worse than having sex with someone who's got a condom on, and then being like, I want to come down your throat. Excellent. Gimme. I want to taste my reward. 100%. I want to swallow everything. That taste when they've taken a condom off and you're like that.
Right.
It's disgusting.
Even the smell in the room for me. Do you know what I mean? The whole thing, the stickiness of it, the whole.
Condoms have a smell to them.
They do. There's a feel. It's the whole thing. Right. It's very. They're awful, and they also make the entire sexual experience linear and on a set timeline. The sex starts when I put the condom on. The sex finishes when I come, because I have to come out and take the condom off. Right? Again, maybe this is just, I don't think it's just me, but I can sometimes stay in a girl and fuck her twice.
Yeah.
Right?
But it's not also that as well, you know, I've had it before with guys where you start having sex with no condom, but he hasn't come yet, you just want to take a break for 5 minutes and then move into another position. Because maybe this guy has got really, really long stamina, but can only come once. And that's absolutely fine. But if you put the condom on, by the time that's gone second, you're going to have to put another. That's expensive.
It is expensive
That's
as
expensive.
fuck. And in that exact capacity, it's one of the reasons why I now refuse to have any kinky sex that involve condoms, because of the times where I have had those type of encounters. I've went for an entire box.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's on, off. It's a whole fucking nightmare.
Especially as a guy and as a girl, if you don't come every time, you know, it's just.
It's not how I want to have the experience.
No.
It's just I'm trying to think of a good comparison. It feels like the same as, like, now as an adult, if I wanted to have a cigarette, needing to go and do it behind a school bike shed.
Yeah.
Literally. Do you know what I mean? As opposed to sat with my coffee in a nice chair. You know what I mean? Inside or out, just fucking doing my vibe. And I don't know, it ruins the entire flow. For me, sex isn't just the act of actually fucking and coming. There's a whole encompassing thing that can be around it. It can just be that, you know, but especially when we're talking more relationship-wise, which is where I really, it boggles my mind. Do you know what I mean? That's really where I'm focusing there, is the romantic people who are together and still fucking throwing latex into the river. Boggles me. It doesn't make any sense, shit. It doesn't make any sense.
It's one of those things. Until up about, I'd say probably about 14 months ago. 14 months ago was the first time that I'd had, like, no condom sex. Up until then, genuinely, I was a safety girl through and through, taking my pill every day. Obviously, I take my pill every day now. But it's like that thing of, my parents taught me, double up. Don't die for the sake of a shag and whatnot and blah, 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 and all that other fucking bullshit, right? And it was probably about 14 months ago, I met a guy, we had unprotected sex. It was probably some of the best sex I've ever had. And after that point, you don't really want to go back, and then you start going, you know, do the decent thing, you go and get tests, and if someone asks for a test, you can procure that, you know.
Willable, yeah.
You know, I've met people on Fab who have said, you know, I'm not willing to meet without a test. That's absolutely fine.
100%.
That's absolutely fine. Because at that point, we are both consenting to having raw sex. We are both consenting
Absolutely.
to having it. There is no shocks, there is no surprises by the time you get up to, you know, you've watched Netflix for an hour, you know, you then just start moving into the bedroom where you're doing there and there on the couch, and you don't have to have that awkward conversation. Because let's face it, no one likes to have that conversation before sex of, are we using a condom or not?
No, not at all.
And to be fair, the thing is with me, if you look at my list of kinks, you can clearly see the fact I don't want sex with a condom on.
Okay, here's a question I have for you. Okay, here's how I'm going to do this. I'm going to tell you a story about Gina 2.0, then I'm going to ask you the question, because if I try and weave the question in, it's just going to fuck my head, if you get me.
Okay.
So, she asked, she was like, can you use this condom when we were there? And I was like, no bother. Right, okay.
Man was desperate, as you can see.
I'm trying to think of exactly how it happened. Right, so the first night, kept it fairly just like, gave her space, we were chilling, you know what I mean, we dropped, we're hanging out. As the night got on, she got more touchy and feely, spent some time on top of me, took her top off, we were making out, like we had a good evening that Friday night when we got fucked up and we stayed up really late and all of that good stuff, right? But it wasn't until maybe, I'm going to pull a number out of the air, 3, 4, 5 in the morning, when we went to sleep. I hadn't tried to fuck her, then woke up, we hadn't done anything sexual really, other than sort of getting a bit hot and heavy. Then got a bit frisky in bed, and she was like, "Can you put a condom on?" And legitimately, I wasn't making it up. I could get hard enough to fuck her. I couldn't get hard enough to get a condom on. For me, I struggle to get them on unless I'm like hard. Again, I hate it. I hate putting them on. Not that I'm not saying I can't put a condom on in general, but just I was on MD, a lot of MD. Do you know what I mean? Really stoned, wanting to fuck the girl. My dick is up, but the moment I go to start rustling that thing, it's do you know what I mean? It's dissipating in the same way as you would talk about tapping your leg and needing to warm up again. I was having the same problem. Every time I broke to try and do it, it just wasn't happening. So we were having. I was like that, I was like, hey, look, let's just continue. I was like, look, let's chill out. We can keep fooling around. Fuck you later. Do you know what I mean? Type thing. It's absolutely chill. And then while we were getting hot and heavy, this was when I started to ask her what she liked. Again, it was the first time we'd had a bit of kinky conversations, but actually when you're with someone, right? And she was on her side. I was like, how rough do you like it? Started spanking her, getting a little bit of a test run. And then I went, what do you like? And that's when she went, I like it when you slap my face and spit in my mouth. I was like, and that got me, I got me rock hard on her perfect little ass. Perfect little ass. And so I start rubbing my dick up against her clit, and she's like, I want you to fuck me. I'm like, I would, but I can't. I can't get the condom on. I'm like, later, I promise. You know what I mean? And then after about maybe 10 or 15 minutes, she just pushed me inside her. I was like, oh, okay, thank you, thank fuck for that. It's amazing. We fuck. I think maybe that time came on her chest, then came in her mouth. All good. Found ways to be quite happy. And then from that point, for the rest of the weekend, I didn't put a condom on. It never came up again. So that's the story bit. Now my question is, do you think that she just had that rule as just a generic thing and then wore down? B, do you think that she quote unquote lost control, if that makes sense, and did something that she didn't not want to, or do you get me? Like she was so fucked up that she didn't. That she looked past it, and then might look back on herself, not on me, but be like, oh, probably shouldn't have, shouldn't have done that, or what? Do you know what I mean? And then on the other side, I sort of knew that if I just held out, she'd give in, right? Does that make me a bad person?
No.
It wasn't that I was trying to manipulate her or force her into it, right? I was quite
because,
content.
Let's face it, at the end of the day, when you first started teasing her, and you openly, she said, I want you to fuck me, and you said I would, but the condom is a little thing. It's a problem right now. It's a little obstacle, right? I genuinely think she lost control a little bit. I don't think that's something that she normally does, because obviously, let's face it, the first time you went to go put that condom on, the first time you tried to fuck and you went to go try and go put that condom on and it just wasn't working, me, the person that I am, would have been like, just leave it. I genuinely would have been, just leave it. Meh. I think for her, I think she genuinely lost control, and because it took a good 15 minutes after that point of you teasing her and doing all of those things before she broke.
Oh, no, yes and no. But now I'm again, the more you think about it, the more things become crystal clear. So I tried to put the condom on once. It didn't happen, and before she could even say anything, I was like, that's absolutely chill. I was like, the MD, don't even worry about that. We'll do it later. I drew a line there. I was like, it's not even fuss. And then after about very soon after I started like rubbing myself up against her, she was like, oh, I do really want you to fuck me. And I remember saying quite a few times, explaining it out and being like, look, I don't want you to do something that you'll regret. I can't put the condom on. If you want to have sex with me without the condom, we can do that, but I want you to think about that for a minute. You know what I mean? And she was like, you know what I mean? And so we vibed it out a little bit, and then she sort of just we went MD quiet for a while. You know, and it was during that she just sort of was like, whoosh.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe you're right. I don't know. It's
Okay, if she had to sit there and think about it, if you had to give her all of those things to be like, you know, we can do it without, that's absolutely fine, but I don't want you to do something that you'll regret or something that doesn't line up with your morals and X, Y, and Z. If she still took her time to think about it and the way that she did it, I genuinely think the fact she lost control. You know? Because when I first started having sex, I'm not talking about when I was 16 and I lost my virginity. I'm talking about when I turned sort of 19, 20 and started going out and meeting people and having Tinder dates and, you know, having a fuck buddy up the road and things like that, like we all did. Condoms were always a part of the
framework.
Were always a part of my mind and my framework. I can't help it. It always was. You know. It always was, and at that time was something that I actually would never compromise on.
No.
Never ever compromised
No.
on it. Never ever compromised on it. You know, it was always very much ingrained in my head from a mum that was a teacher who had worked in a sixth form with multiple teenage girls that around my age getting pregnant. It was one of those things where it was like, okay, you know, I'm doing it actually out of respect for my parents, but actually not doing the thing that I sexually enjoy. And let's face it, I sexually enjoy it, you know. And I remember, I think I might have been 19, I think, and I had a boyfriend who we hadn't actually. It was all very, very. We were boyfriend and girlfriend, but it was all very innocent, and it was quite a while before we actually built up to sex. And I remember this so vividly. He was like, oh yeah, I'm not gonna fuck you with a condom on, you know, I don't like it, blah blah blah. And we had an argument about that because it was something that morally didn't line up with my particular values at that time. I wanted you to wear one. If you weren't gonna wear one, then we weren't having sex, you know. And he kept trying to coerce me into it to the point I just picked up my shit and I left. You know, it's different with you. You know, you set out all of those parameters, you know, and gave her those options. I wasn't given an option at that time when condoms were a big thing to me. They were generally a part of the way that I could only really have sex with somebody, you know. And it was as simple as that. If I turned up to a meet, and if I turned up to go meet someone, like even one of my fuck buddies, for example, who at one point me and him were only just fucking each other, if he didn't turn up with a condom on, he was just getting a blowjob on my car. It was as simple as that. You know, I wasn't compromising on it at all until 14 months ago when I met somebody. And again, I was on MD, funny enough, you know.
It's the gateway, boys.
It's the gateway.
Put it in the water.
Honestly,
you hear me, Sturgeon? Put it in the springs.
It works, honestly. But
We'll have babies next spring.
But it was one of those things, like, I was on the pill, you know. I take it every single day religiously. And also, I have a pill as well where I actually don't have a period. So I'm like the best thing ever to men because I have a pill where I don't get a period at all. It's great. And I remember having sex with this person, and I remember coming home and I was like a fucking wreck, you know. At that point I didn't have my face, like didn't have my eyelash extension, things like that, so I had mascara on, and I had mascara running down my face, and I'm driving home like legs still shaking, and I'm sitting there, I'm like, is that because he was really good in bed, or was that because we didn't have a condom? And it very much came to my mind probably about 2 days later. It was like,
oh, is he an Adonis, or is there something else? Do you know what I mean?
Is there something in there which really unlocked one of
Right, like the first time you put salt in your pasta.
Yeah, first time you put salt in your pasta.
First time you put literally.
Yeah. And you know, and then at that point it was like, oh, okay, this is another kink to add to the top of the list. This is the reason why I actually enjoy it. And it was all
because you're built for it.
I'm built for it.
Controversial opinion.
No, I am.
But all women in general, right? Like, and guys, like, this is the thing we forget. Right. Side note for a moment, we forget because we live in houses and drive these little fucking metal things and fly across the planet that we are animals, Gina. Just like the rest of them, the ones we put in the zoo, the ones that we have in our houses, the ones that just breed like fucking rabbits. It's in the DNA.
It's in the DNA.
It's in the Genghis fucking Khan. Genghis Khan, man.
Genghis Khan, man. He keeps coming
fucking
around.
Khan. Oh, Gina, well, you've seen me walking around the city the last couple of days.
God.
I've literally been like a bitch in heat. You know what I mean? Like,
There was at one point I probably would have had to take a collar and leash to you, and normally that's my thing.
Right?
And I was thinking at one point, oh, do you know, it was watching a kid in a candy store, and you need to put the reins on him.
But see, here's the interesting thing, right? Previously, and you'll know what I mean by this. Previously, when I would look at a girl like that and had those sort of moments, I could feel it in my dick. Do you know what I mean? It was like, I want to fuck her. You know what I mean? I'd get a little bit like aroused, not hard on or anything like that, but you could feel like the right, the primal like That has gone.
No.
And it's been gone since Joelle and I broke up and I started on that journey.
Yeah.
Now when I look at girls, it's up here in my chest and in my head. It's more like it's not just I'm not looking at her and going, oh my god, I want to bend her over and fuck her right now and do something filthy. Do you know what I mean? Right this second, I'm looking at her and I'm like, oh my god, you've got magic. You're beautiful and you've got this style and this energy. Do you know what I mean? And there's this whole person there, and not some cliche. I'm thinking of the life that we could build together, like, and mapping it all out. But do you know what I mean? Like the energy. You know me. I feel things and I feel people. It's one of the reasons why I enjoy being in the city. And I've just been getting this.
You are definitely. I mean, this is part of our discussion yesterday. You like to have a connection in order to have sex with somebody.
Oh yeah,
You know,
for sure.
And I think we've all had that thing. We've all had our dick in our pants, me included, where we've seen a particular person, like it started like throbbing, because that happens for women. You know, we'll look at a person, we'll go.
I don't get that.
Do you not?
No, I've never got that unless it's I feel the energy and the vibe.
Yeah, no.
But genuinely, like
Yeah.
I can, unless there's the energy and the vibe.
Yeah.
Put it this way, you saw how when I was at my buffest, how big I got. I've shown you pictures. Like I was pretty fucking. Not to be humble brag, I was pretty. Get a girl in a bar, right?
Yeah.
Not once have I pulled a girl or taken a girl home from a bar, and I say that not through a. Oh, woe was me, I couldn't do it. You could attest, I could probably take a girl home from a bar, right? It's just not. It has no appeal for me.
For all the stuff that I have done as well, you know, I feel like me and you were kind of very much on the same level with what we like and what we've actually done and everything like that. I've never taken somebody home. I've never gone home with somebody from a club, from a bar, from a pub, nothing like that.
Here's where I'll intrigue you, I think, because I only just realised this. Other than in Jersey, I have only used Tinder to hook up with girls in South Africa this year, and then twice in Glasgow. Every other girl that I've come across has come from somewhere kinky.
Yeah.
And the reason I separate Jersey is Jersey's Jersey. Do you know what I mean? There's like 6 people on there, and
Jersey was your island, you know?
there's only been 2 times that I've had anything. I've had 3 things come out of Tinder in Jersey. 2 of them were people that I knew and had known for ages, you know, like came back around, and one was one night stand. So that's it, you know, and everything else has come from somewhere filthy, and not just for the kink aspect, but as you said, for the connection.
But we've all done that thing. I mean, I've done that thing where you'll match, you know, I'll match with a guy on Tinder, for example, and if you know, after a while of chatting and things like that, you think, actually, I quite like you, we've got quite a good connection, you know, got quite a good vibe and everything like that. And I can be in his bed 2 hours later, you know, and that's absolutely chill. It doesn't need to be a connection built up over 4 days, 4 days a week.
No.
It can be a connection built up over the fact of 6 hours, where actually your connection is the fact you're just horny as fuck.
100%. I would. Perfect example of that, Jenny.
Yep.
Jenny. You know what? I sent that message on Fab to Jenny at 9:15 on a Saturday morning. Sat on my patio with a coffee and a joint. I put my phone down, stuck my tunes on, smoked the joint, had the coffee, wandered around the house for 45 minutes, and then came back. So like by 10:05, she was in there. I'd sent her a big long paragraph, as you know I like to do.
As
you know,
I've
I like to go in strong. And you know what her immediate response back was? Best one I've ever got. Want to have a WhatsApp call? Her number.
Yeah.
Straight off, not even no hi or, you know,
No.
just WhatsApp me.
Yeah.
You know, like, but cool.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, straight on the audio call, straight into the video, we talked from that 10:30 in the morning all the way through till about 10:30 at night. After about 2 hours of talking, I'd already booked her a ticket to come the next day. Like, we were fucking moving, you know. And so, you know me, not just in my romantic life, but across the board. Like, I'll go with those wins. I think we both like that. It doesn't need to be long and drawn out. I think when you're in tune and you operate the way we do it, just
I
sort
mean,
of
I don't think we were long and drawn out.
No.
From all I think we had like 3 messages going back and forth on Fab. It's the reason why I keep going back to our previous relationship is because it's quite a good leveler for the both of us. It's quite a good
I'm an
leveler.
excellent catch.
So am I.
We both really are. And the way that I handle a woman is, I think, spectacular, wouldn't you say?
The way I handle a cock is actually quite spectacular too.
I meant that on more of like a cosmic and, you know, being a gentleman level. She's, see, straight in there, cock gobbler. But no, I think I'm a pretty good guy to have, you know? I'm going to humble brag for a moment. I think I'm...
okay, I'm gonna boost your ego just a little bit, alright?
Strap the fuck in here. Glad we're recording. Date and time it, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm gonna boost your ego a little bit here. So, obviously, my Fab profile at that point was like bare bones. I hadn't actually been on it very long, had I? My Fab was...
No, you were fresh.
I was fresh, but let's face it, I've been on...
I like to search by new in 5 days, at least once every 18 to 24 hours when I'm active.
But...
Got to keep up with it.
But by that point, I'll be honest, I've been on Fab and deleted it, on Fab and deleted it. I think this probably was my 4th time around, I think. And it's only...
4-time Betty.
Yeah.
Round the back of the bike shed.
This isn't sloppy seconds, this is...
So it's not like... It's... yeah, you go back down one minute. I'm seeing it's like... you know?
Yeah. But I hadn't been on Fab very long by the time that you had popped up, right? And... I got that really long message read. That was probably the most genuine message I've ever received from anybody on any form of like app. I'm talking Tinder, Bumble, Hinge, Fab, everything like that. It was probably the most genuine message that I received. Although it's fucking copy and pasted, which I didn't realise until about a month after I met you that whole message was copy and pasted.
That's unfair. Hold up a minute. No. We will continue to have this argument. This argument I've had with several people. Right. No. I feel like full context needs to be given because this is going on record at some. This is getting.
This one
right.
probably is going to get posted.
This is going to get posted at some point, and I need to set the fucking record straight. You out there accusing me of being a copy paster. Right. So. Little bit of background, last serious girlfriend, 3 years, proposed, broke up. That was January 21. Yeah? So I, madly in love with her, forced myself to go out and fuck my way through the parishes just to snap out of it. And around the June time, I sat and I reflected on, she was still living with me, but she was in the process of moving out, and that was finally happening. I was like, right, where are you at mentally? Take a break from it, but when you are ready to sort of look, what are you going to do and where you're going to be? Joelle was not a kinky person. She was fairly vanilla. Yeah. Loved me, was a little bit, she was submissive in general in the relationship and also in the bedroom, and did let me have some fun, but not, I never took it very well. Was a few times. Anyway, but the point being is that wasn't her flavour and orientation, right? And it was at that point I'd had the whole roster of being with people IRL and online that were vanilla, kinky for extended periods of time, and I came to the conclusion, I was like, right, I want to be with someone who shares my core values across the board, inside and outside of the bedroom, which means that at least for the moment, when I'm looking for a partner, it's going to have to be online. I don't want to be the guy that is up hundreds of hours diving into different profiles and sort of getting really caught up in that energy. I was like, that's not for me. I was like, I recognise that it's a numbers game. I recognise what it's like for girls out there. It's just a fucking, free-for-all, and you guys are quite dismissive with men and profiles and the way that you treat guys, and I'm very aware of that. And that's absolutely cool. No shade, completely fine. So I sat down, got stoned, sat on my patio, and I went, right, okay, what is it that you want? And I wrote out that long message, and it stayed relatively consistent. I've updated it over time, but the broad framework.
You do adapt it for who you're talking to, what type of person you're talking to, and things like that. So it's not a total copy and paste.
I'm going to read it. because I think it's
Yeah.
worth it. Down as fab long-term global space Gina in my Google Keeps. Gotta keep the messages organised. Hey, first off, how are you? New paragraph. I always find these types of things tricky. Either you say too little or bare your soul. I tend to be pretty upfront about who I am, why I'm here, and what I'm looking for. I'm a 25-year-old guy from the island of Jersey. I like to read, a bit of fiction, a bit of long-fiction. I also enjoy being in nature, long walks out in the countryside. I spend a fair bit of time in the gym, but don't worry, I'm not a meathead. It just helps me decompress. I work as a financial analyst. We need to make that independent business owner, but work in finance. I'm a dom. I've been involved in dom sub play since I was 15 with my first partner / sub. I'm into quite hardcore BDSM play, CNC and fetish play. I'm a digital nomad, so I'm very flexible on location. I'm looking for a submissive girl to spend time with and rough up. I'm open to casual connections. If the energy is right, then something long term. If that's not your vibe, I totally understand. Either way, I hope you find what you're looking for.
See, what I got was a same sort of bones, but different, because at that time you were living in Jersey, and actually what you wanted was someone that was going to come and live with you.
100%.
That was
exactly.
I keep forgetting the message that I got, which is the reason why I thought it was very genuine, was because you kind of bared your soul in the message that you sent to me, was that this is what I'm looking for.
100%. And yes, you've reminded me of that, because this is the current iteration, but yes, the OG version was exactly that. And I believe in that message, correct me if I'm wrong, I gave more background to my previous relationship,
Yeah, you did.
where I was at. I gave more context to being in Jersey. My financial situation, at the time was pretty stable.
There was a lot of things in there. There was a lot of things that was like, I would take care of the day-to-day. You can drive, you can have the Jeep and everything like that. It was very much like
we should probably get background of that. Yeah, I was living in a 2-bedroom cottage in St John's in Jersey. I had the Jeep. I think I just sold the Merc, or was it just sold the Merc? But I had the Jeep, and also I think I had either the Yaris or some other. Yaris as a runaround. Had the Jeep. I was working for the bank. Worked from home. Made good money, enough to comfortably cover the cottage and a good existence. You know, and I was basically at that time I was looking for someone who was wanting to not immediately off the bat, but the long term. Short term, but get to their goal was to come over, live with me, full-time girlfriend stub. You don't have to work. If you want to work and do your thing, that's absolutely fine. I'm not saying you have to live your entire life, but you can just chill, drive the Jeep, day-to-day's taken care of, and just come and be in my world and live in my existence. I was quite open about my values and who I was as a person, the sort of dynamic that we would have at a very high level, and just sort of like, if this interests you, let's talk more, if not,
I mean, let's face
no
it,
worries.
we actually, we had probably a couple of weeks into our relationship, we'd already started talking about those things.
Yeah, for sure.
We'd already started getting the indication in terms of when would I have been comfortable to move over. Would I have been working? Would I have done this? Would I have done...
Yeah, we started to flush it out.
We really started to hash out those conversations.
At a good and steady pace. To circle it back around, that's why I object to copy pasta, right? Because that message, to me, it's not just a copy paste to get a response of a person. It is me being genuine, sincere, and everything in it is true about who I am, what I want, and where I'm at.
Yeah.
And I think it is, in the current market and the way that online dating works, I think it is perfectly reasonable for me to send that copy paste to girls and that be the starting point for an interaction. You know what I mean? If you're interested, if that intrigues you, write something back, man, and let's talk. Because I'm here and I'm good to talk to, But I don't like the onerous being, right, the way that copy paste is demonized suggests that a guy should be being individual with each girl, which is fucking ridiculous. How dare you? I don't have time for that. And who should? What? No, it's genuine. Not just I don't have time for that. What? So I'm expected to be original with every single girl I come across, but they're not even expected to have the decency to respond if they've matched with me on something. Fuck off, man. No. I cast a wide net of genuinely what I'm looking for, and if I get some nibbles, well then we go check the fucking lines and we'll go from there. Then we'll decide if I want to reel it in.
The thing is, though,
it's another way of taking back control and power as well,
The thing is, though, with that message, is that after you sent that message, You sent that message to me. I responded. You then respond to me, and then I still get that genuine. I still get that genuine vibe from you. I've got that genuine vibe from you the whole way throughout our relationship, you know, and throughout our. Obviously, after our relationship ended and things, obviously our communication completely dropped off, and I think it has taken us a while to get back to really good communication.
For sure.
You know,
Yeah.
because there are times when you first started messaging me again, I wanted to stomp on your fucking head, because you were driving me insane. You were driving me fucking insane when I told you that I was gonna come pick you up from London, and I said, "Yo, I'll go wait outside the tube station." You're like, "Yeah, but you told me about the Tesco's," and I was like, "This is now not the time for you to be pedantic towards me."
Wait, what? No, that was me genuinely clarifying where you wanted me to wait. You were
Yeah,
like,
no,
I'll pick you up at the tube station. I was like, do you mean the tube station or do you mean the Tesco?
Yeah.
What's unreasonable about that?
It was one
You
of
were being ambiguous. You misspoke. Fuck
Okay.
off.
Okay then, fair enough.
Yeah.
But still, there was
Step to me, bitch. Like, don't be like that.
Fuck off. But there were still genuine parts. I think even after that night, me and you, our communication was not great. Now,
Yeah, for sure.
Now we excel at it. It's like that we constantly take the piss out of each other 24/7.
Oh, it's got to be
And
done.
that's what makes our friendship great, you know. But even so, when we first started talking and we were going to have that dom and sub dynamic, I need to put my teeth in. What is wrong with me? But when we're going to have that dynamic, within a day, we'd already started WhatsApp audio and FaceTime and calls and things like that. But even then, our communication was shit. It took ages. It took absolutely ages. And I think that now we're probably at the best we've probably ever been.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. These things take time. A relationship of any form takes time to gel, especially when you're doing things through technology. You know, it takes a while to. It takes a while to find the right rhythm with the tech. It takes a while to find the right rhythm with your timings and schedules and what ways work best to, you know, to float it through. Do you know what I mean?
The other thing is as well is that, let's face it, you can send me a particular text. If you there's that Key and Peele sketch where they're texting each other. It's like, hey mate, did you still want to meet today, and all of those sorts of things. When it's text and you haven't physically spoken to the person, especially I would say after a day, if you haven't actually audio called with the person, you still don't get an understanding of their tone with their messages.
Oh, for sure.
Because some messages can come across really shitty, and other ones can come across as sarcastic and being jokey with you and things like that. But if you don't know that person, you get that sarcastic message, the instant reaction is to go, they're not being sarcastic, they're being a cunt.
Yeah.
You know? Which is why texting is so fucking difficult.
It is not the wave at all. Like, I'm not a fan, and that's completely echoing your sentiment. It's now a rule that I have. I don't fuck with a girl who wants to stay on one of the apps for more than a few messages, you know, a conversation. I want you in my WhatsApp. If you're not down for WhatsApp or Telegram, I will do Instagram because it has audio notes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like, it's a reasonable one
Even
if you don't.
Facebook Messenger as well, if you really want to go that far.
Instagram I will give you.
Okay.
Instagram's me being fair, right? Otherwise, WhatsApp/Telegram. You know, if you want to be anonymous, but like, I would preferably want your number. If I can't have that, I'll do Instagram because I'm not fucking with it.
No.
You know, I'm not spending a long time. Like, look, I don't have to be like diving into Fab every 5 minutes to check to check if a message is there, Gina. It's 2022. It's 2022.
We're not here for that shit no more.
No, seriously. Even on that note, right? You're supposedly interested. I've sent you this beautiful message as you described, and now you're supposedly interested in talking to me. Yet you want me to have to not know when you've got in touch.
The entire time with my thumbs texting you all the time.
You want me to not know when you've messaged me? Because how am I going to know?
No.
That's ridiculous.
No.
Unacceptable.
Yeah, we really hate. We're definitely not. We've said this from the beginning since we first met. We're not texting people.
No, I'm not. I'm not a young person.
No.
Never been a young person.
I've got arthritis in my thumbs.
Love drugs. Love fucking young people. Love doing young people things. Sometimes, but not a young person.
No.
Never have been.
I've got arthritis in my thumbs.
No.
It stays constantly in this position.
I don't fuck with it. I'm fortunate enough that I'm that lonely. I don't have that many people to actually message, which is great.
Yeah.
It means I don't have to get into that. It's fab. Pardon the pun. But no, I'm not a young person. Well, you've seen how I dress.
Oh god,
You've seen how I dress.
I mean, I love the style. We've described this over the last couple of days. Reclusive old money, and I love that style. I'm here for it. You know.
Yeah.
But you don't dress. You don't dress like a 25-year-old.
No, and that's I think it's part of the reason why I constantly get mistaken as being older than I am. And that and my think I'm an old soul anyway.
But this always makes me laugh, the fact that people think that I don't know. I can never understand my style. I never understand my style, really.
Yeah, it's hard to pin down. Like, you're not in one line. You're you.
Yeah.
And your style.
But that's the way I've always wanted to be. I've never been So, here's a fun fact about me. I used to collect Vogue magazines, right?
Ooh.
Used to love Vogue. It used to be my thing. After I went to Devil Wears Prada for the first time, my parents got me like consecutive year subscriptions for my birthdays and stuff like that.
Oh, love it.
You know, it was great. My whole one of my bookcases, the whole top shelf is just full of Vogue magazines. You know, and when like family members have gone to other cities, they brought me back the Vogue issues from that country. That's just how much I loved it, right? But I'm looking through all of these things, and not at one point have I ever actually bought things from that fashion trend, because I'm not a particularly trendy person.
No,
you know, obviously
nor am I.
You know, we went into H&M yesterday, and I picked up things, but they're clothes that I think most people could consider them to be just normal, classic pieces of clothing, not a trendy pair of flares or baggy dad jeans or ripped jeans. Honestly, people, we need to just get off the fucking ripped jeans. They are disgusting.
What is with the workman jeans on girls?
Oh,
it just came up out of nowhere, and I'm not vibing it.
I'm not. It's like the 90 Jinko jeans. Do you remember those with like the really like straight, like wide leg, like massive legs?
What is happening?
You know, I don't want to look like how I did when 11-year-old Gina was out in the streets. Because that's what I can't understand, is how this like 2000 trends has come along. Okay, I don't want to see anybody wearing what I used to wear.
I know, remember, because they weren't there.
Yeah,
this is
but
fresh
I don't
for
want
them.
them to be wearing that shit that I used to when I was 8 years old. But let's face it, you go up with all these 2000 trends and whatever, you are not wearing what I wore when I was 12 years old.
No.
You know, 2006 is going to come around soon. I guarantee you nobody is going to be wearing scene girl shit. I guarantee you.
I wish I could agree, but we've got kids walking around with mullets, Gina. Nothing's off the table.
That's true.
And Cammy's
I quite
back.
like a mullet, I'm not going to lie. Always Cammy back.
Cammy's back.
Oh, no.
I hate... What do you mean you fucking... No, okay, sorry. No, right. I love you, but your opinion on what you like in a man has very little weight, because... You're literally a cockstop, so like...
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you mean you like a mullet? It's not, oh, I like a mullet, I like long hairs. There's very few things that you don't like.
No. I mean, let's face it, I'm honestly going to say, the man that I end up with, I swear to God, he better have long hair. I definitely have it. Like, most of the guys that I picked out for me this weekend have had long hair.
They have.
I can tell you exactly where it comes from. In Beauty and the Beast, when the Beast transforms into the prince, that is what it was.
You right. You are so malleable. Talk about me imprinting on someone. Like, we need to make sure the right guy imprints on you.
We really.
I've imprinted on you. I've just given you loads of good values.
Yeah.
We just need to have built. There you go. Whoever.
You did imprint on me.
I did imprint on you.
I played in your mind. That's what I do.
Oh, you do a lot more than that, sweetheart.
Oh.
Lock up your dads.
Honestly, lock up your dads. It's unhealthy.
It really, really
It
is.
is unhealthy.
It really, really is.
What did I say when I got on the bus? I said something about breaking up marriages. I can't remember what I said as we got on the bus earlier.
Oh, you turned around and looked at... No, we were walking along and I went, oh, he's got great style. And you went, oh, yeah, he's got perfect dad style. The guy was dressed fantastically. And then you looked me dead in the eye and you went, he's got the perfect... He's like, that's the perfect sort of guy that you want to ruin his marriage. And I was like...
Oh, no.
And he was walking his kid down the street. It's like a 4-year-old skipping along. She's giving him the eyes like,
No.
I'd love to see him in divorce court.
Fuck him after divorce court.
Yeah, you know, you're in the hotel waiting, right?
Yeah.
Come back to me, Daddy, once you've signed the papers.
I specifically described it as BDD.
She can take half your shit, but you can have all of me.
Yeah, literally. Genuinely.
It's unhealthy.
It really is unhealthy.
It's unhealthy. Stop breaking homes.
Yeah, but I now get you to vet the guys that I talk to. Poor Jonathan.
Oh, Jonathan.
Jonathan is still in the DMs, by the way. He's still in the DMs.
You need to have more self-respect.
I'm just making friendly conversation with him.
You need to have more self-respect. Okay. Who is... What do you mean you're just having friendly conversation with him?
Everyone needs a friend. I know I've got you, but I would like more.
Oh, look at you, Miss High and Mighty. Fucking social ambitions. The fuck is this? Right. Okay. I have no objection to you wanting more fucking friends. Yeah. But what I will say is no, right. Okay. Jonathan was a potential partner. Yeah. He's now not. Yeah. He's not your friend. No. He's a beta male that was not good enough for you. Okay. While nice dude, he's not your friend. Okay, and you need to have more self-respect and more discipline with this and draw lines between the two. Okay. If you want friends, change your Bumble settings. Alright? Stop trying to chat with guys that failed to meet the mark and fuck you. Yeah. Right? Right? Yeah. Because how are you going to be friends with a guy who can't fuck you? Yeah, let's face it. What's that? No. Yeah. You know how you find guy friends? Mm-hmm. Through the guy friends you already have, or fucking guys, and then either continuing to fuck them or no longer fucking them. Yeah. It's not the guys that don't meet the mark, Gina. You're a cockstop. If you can't get in there, then how on earth is he going to keep up? Alright? The man opened him like message, voice note too, like depression and anxiety, and then was like, you're over-analysing me. Fucking, give me friendly conversation. Okay. The fuck? Okay. You're talking about having arthritis, but you've got time to fucking have friendly conversation with Jonathan. Nah. No, that's not the Bedford bitch I know.
As of Monday, I'm not going to have any free time. I'm starting a new job.
Exactly. So shed this Asian Tamagotchi.
I've just archived him, by the way.
Yeah, good. It's fucking gone, alright? You won't even delete or give him a message because it's you, but you'll put him in the archive until you're feeling lonely or horny one night, in which case you might see what he had to say, eh? Because that's the Gina that we know. Yep. It's unhealthy. Yeah. Well, that part's fine. Stop fucking dads that have wives.
What about divorced ones?
That's a fair game.
I would like to point out, right, the only time I ever fucked a married man, I didn't know the fact that he was married.
And I would like to point out the fact, while that's admirable and I believe true, I don't think it would have made much of a difference.
No, it did. I don't fuck married guys.
Interesting. You like them when they're already broken?
Yeah.
Okay. No.
Yeah, I won't fuck.
That's still incredibly unhealthy, but like I can support that.
I won't fuck a married guy based on the fact, although I do genuinely believe it's their marriage, it's their relationship, whatever, you know. I don't know the person and everything like that. Sure. And there was a part of me that genuinely crossed my mind one time. But you know what the other thing is? I don't want some crazy bitch on my doorstep turning up to where I work and smash my car in, you know, because that could happen.
I've had all of that. Yeah. It's not pleasant.
No.
It's not pleasant.
You know, I don't want a crazy girlfriend.
He moves, he's got a shadow.
He has a shadow. It's pretty short. Maybe that's just a high window.
It is, it's the shower window. It's quite high up the ledge. I still think he's a bit short. Maybe you could fuck Kermit. Can you get me a discount?
Jamal wants to stay here for another month. I'll come up every other weekend.
Yeah. 100%.
First of all, let me see the length of it first before I commit to that.
Again, darling, you're acting like...
No, I genuinely...
Oh, for travel, I suppose that's... Yeah.
No, I can't. If I don't like the...
You can't handle a tiny pecker?
I can't.
Or a deformed pecker?
No, because the amount of times there was one guy, and this was in my early friends with benefits. This guy had quite a small package, you know. And when he asked me to choke on it, I was still breathing through my mouth.
There you go. That's right, gentlemen. That's how you know you have a small penis. If you ask a girl to choke on it, I just make her choke on it.
Yeah. I mean, I've got gills. This is my thing. I can stay down there for a really long time.
You can. You're like one of those bottom feeders in the aquarium. Just like...
I'm one of those girls. You genuinely don't have to tell me to do it. You don't have to force my head. I'll do it by myself.
Just diving in like it's the last McFlurry on a hot day.
Literally.
Fucking extra smarty.
You know, I'm not... As I've said to you, giving a blowjob to me is one of those things that gives me genuine pleasure because I like to please my partners. And when I give blowjobs, I can see their enjoyment. And I'm one of those people, genuinely, I can just give someone a blowjob and not want anything else in return. And I have given blowjobs and not just want anything else in return, because especially I like to please them when they're a longer term.
Yeah, for sure.
If it's a...
I think that's part of you struggle to read social cues and signs of affection and emotion, right? So like if you can see it on him like that, it's like it's like a fucking smoke signal, isn't it? In the best of ways.
If someone comes up to me in a bar, like blank space, I don't get it. Like the amount of times I've been out with friends or my family, they've gone, gee, he was hitting on you. Are you sure? Because I didn't read that. And they were like, are you fucking blind? Yes, I wear contact lenses. I really am blind.
You are fucking blind.
I am really blind. I need to go to the opticians. It's actually a problem. They keep messaging me. They're holding my contact lenses hostage. But I don't like doctors. We've discussed this. I don't like doctors.
Hold on a minute. You just tried to slip that one past me. What?
They're holding my bed for Specsavers if you're listening. Stop holding my contact lenses hostage. I will come to an appointment.
No, please do. Thank you for doing something about this. We were sat in bed last night, right? Oh my god, what was it we were doing?
We were watching Clarkson's Farm. We were trying to put subtitles.
Yes, okay, right, fuck me. Yes, Clarkson's Farm. A standard Fire TV remote with the button with the 3 lines. It's on the TV, the little button with the 3 lines. Yeah. I force her to push it because she can't see it on the remote or on the TV. And then the writing comes up on the TV for the subtitles and stuff. And she just she didn't even know what part of the screen it was fucking on. She was just looking at Clarkson's sort of vague figurine. So what the fuck, Gina? Go to the opticians.
Okay, it's my problem. I have a genuine thing with going to doctors. I fucking hate the dentist.
Okay, right, I'm going to stop you right there, because what you're doing is you've shifted into probably a little bit of your family coming to you. You're doing standard white bitch shit, where you're like, just what I've said, what the fuck, go to the doctors, and in response, instead of giving a legitimate argument or addressing what I've said, you've just started to re-explain what you classify as your issues, which are just things you don't like to do. So buttercup. Okay. See, the thing is, you've got a thing about most things. Okay, you do. You don't like stairs. You don't like doctors. You don't like people. You don't like guys when they're hitting on you. You don't like guys when they're not hitting on you. You don't like married men. You don't like unmarried men. You don't like them much. Okay, so stop trying to act the victim or like someone should be giving you some sympathy.
Hey, I make it to the top of those
You were
stairs.
talking about driving up here.
Yeah, I would have driven up here.
You can't see.
I would have been fine. Okay,
Go to the opticians.
Okay, my only problem is driving in the dark. But that is no. There's a reason for that.
Yeah, that guy, she's fine until dawn or dusk even.
I can't drive in the dark wearing my contact lenses. So I have astigmatism. So my eyes are shaped like rugby balls rather than actual footballs. Another reason why I'm fucked up, basically. So my glasses and my contact lenses, they're kind of like weighted at the bottom, so it gives me a full clear vision. But the problem is with contact lenses, unless you try and find the specific where the weight is, and it's really difficult in the morning to try and figure that out, it's really difficult to drive. So when I'm driving, headlights to me, they just kind of go into like a blurred sort of stars. So if I'm driving at night, I'll put my glasses on.
Right.
Have you ever noticed the time that most of the time that when we've been driving, I haven't actually driven at night?
Yes, you haven't.
And if I have, it's been really well lit areas.
Alright, there's a top tip, boys. Get her to meet you for a late afternoon lunch somewhere and just get her a little bit tipsy till it's dark, then she's yours. She can't go home even if she wants to. We should go get some food, shouldn't we?
We really should go and get some food.
We've been going for a while.
I think we need to post this one.
Yeah?
I think this, yeah.
I like it.
I think we should post this one. It should be an introduction.
Okay, what do we call it? What, an introduction? KKK, an introduction. Oh, no, stop. Your first bump.
Yeah.
Episode 1, your first bump.
Yeah, excellent. What's our outro again? We did this last night.
Did we do an outro
No, we
last
did something
night?
like keep kinky and something like that. Do you remember?
Stay high, stay horny.
That was it.
Stay high. I hope it's that. It's not just something close to that shit. We'll
I
have
think
to.
it was that.
Is that what we want to go with?
Yeah.
Stay high, stay horny.
Mhm.
I don't like the stay. I like the high and horny. What can we do instead of stay? Not keep high. Keep high and keep high and very horny. Keep calm and carry on.
Yeah.
No, that's a bit. No,
No, that's a bit
bit
too
much.
war
Blah, blah, blah. Yeah,
effort.
you know. I am so old, Bosh. Reclusive money vibes. I need to sort this out.
To give it some indication, guys, before we end this episode, he sent me a TikTok clip the other day from Darkest Hour with Gary Oldman as Winston Churchill, of the time when Winston Churchill goes onto the tube. This man got emotional about it.
I was crying quite profusely. It was an otherwise emotionally distressing time, but that hit different.
It was 5 days ago.
Yeah, it was a different time.
Past is the past, eh?
Okay, I've been going through a lot, alright? A lot of good, but I've been moving, alright? Fuck you. Yeah, that is a bit too war. I love the war.
Oh, yeah, so
but
do
right,
I.
no, we can't go war effort-y. Stay high, stay horny. Is that...
I think we just stay high, stay horny.
Do you like that?
I think it's
'Cause
simple.
I didn't ask if it was simple, I asked if you liked it. You fucking went. Answer the question.
I said I liked it. Yes, I like it.
Did
It's
you?
simple.
We'll have to roll that back. We'll have to fix that in post. Did she say I like it, or did she just say it's simple? That's the question. See, because I feel like sometimes she just doesn't answer questions. She just comes back with her own shit,
I'm
like
a
her
golden
mum.
retriever.
Oh, shots fired.
Oh.
No, I kid. Stay high, stay horny.
Yeah.
Is that what we
Stay
like
high,
that?
stay horny.
Stay high, stay horny, my brethren. I can't even fucking say it.
I wouldn't mind if you've got to do the outro. I do the intro with the old right treacle. I mean, come on, we're really
You
trying to
do.
get this out right now.
Stay high, stay horny, my brethren.
Oh my god, every single week it should be done in one
I
of
should
your
do it in a
accents.
different accent. Yes, 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 yes. Oh my god. Okay, what
Okay,
accent this week?
Okay, we're starting with Scotland because we are in.
No, give me. Oh, stay high, stay horny. No, give me another one because I want the Scottish one to be good, and I can't.
You can do
My-
a good Glaswegian.
Get to fuck.
That's better.
Get to fuck. Stay high, stay fucking horny. It's the horny. It sounds like honey.
You can't do Irish. Stay high, so I can't do it.
Oh my goodness, Magumbe. I told that bitch.
You can't keep doing that one.
Woman, you need to stay high and stay horny. Why can't I keep doing that one? I'm brown. It's fine. I've been to South Africa.
that's
I've
fine.
seen the people.
Okay, that's the first one.
She has an issue with me only an issue with my African accent, which I think in itself is racist, right? If you've got an issue with me making fun of one group of people, when I make fun of everyone in like jest, then you've got a problem,
What about
Gina.
you, Welsh?
Oh, sound like from the valleys. Well, I don't even know how you'd say that. Oh, it's been fun, chap. Stay high, stay horny.
Perfect.
Was that any good?
That was a good one.
Was that good?
Yeah.
Oh,
we need to
fuck
end
me.
this episode now.
All right then, chaps. Stay high, stay horny. Until next time.